What's up, guys? How y'all been? I know it's been a long time since I've posted anything up on YouTube. To be honest, I didn't even look. Maybe October. I think the last thing I did was my brake pads and rotors for the last race of the season. I don't think I posted up any footage of the last race of the season. But yeah, here I am. 2021 season is over. 2022 season is right around the corner. April 2nd is our first race, and I'm really hoping to be ready for that. I really haven't done much this offseason. The car kind of sat in the garage. Had a lot going on home-wise. I started a new position at work, a little more demanding. But yeah, you guys aren't here to hear about me or what I do or whatever. So like the title says, this video is basically a recap of my 2021 time attack season. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Acosta, local here in Queens, New York, and I usually do compete in time attack. So I usually drive with this organization called EMRA for the most part, and they have a series. Last year was the first time, or the inaugural season of the Northeast Time Attack series. So I had done time trial with them in the past, but this year was their first full I guess you can call point series. You know, they had done some points championships in the past, but this one was Northeast Time Attack series. So yeah, I had done time attack in the past, I don't know, maybe the past 5-6 years, and I've been on and off pretty good. You know, some days are great. You know, the car's hooked up. I'm feeling good. Everything just clicks and we're a rocket. And there's other days where, you know, you end up spinning or going off course and it just ruins your lap for the day and kind of messes with your confidence. But yeah, let's get into the 2021 season. So we did Lime Rock, first race of the season. You know, not everybody's ready. So I was able to come home with the W. You know, 11 points. They have a points system that we go off of. I believe first place is 11 points. Second place is 8 points. Third place is 6 points. And then it makes its way down from there. So by the end of the season, obviously, if you're consistent with attending these races, and, you know, you can finish in the top 3 and you get enough points, you know, you win the points championship for that specific class. So Lime Rock was a W. So yeah, Palmer Motorsports Park was the next event that we had on the calendar. That was a 2-day event. Palmer Motorsports Park is in Massachusetts, so it's a bit of a hike for me, but my first time going there, so I really didn't want to miss it. Unfortunately, I couldn't do both days. My nephew was going off to the Air Force, so we had a nice going away party for him. It was really nice to see him right before he left. But yeah, so I wasn't able to make both days for good reason, so I only made one. First time going to this track, so I was a little intimidated. It's about 14 turns, about 200 feet of elevation changes. A little intimidating, but what have I got to lose, right? I'm just going to go for it. Send it. Lick the stamp. Send it. And yeah, so we got there, and I was just in awe of what the track looked like. After my first session out, it was just addicting. It was, I wanted another lap, another lap, another lap. Another lap, and you felt it start to click. The car started to get into the zone. I started to get into the zone. And every session that I came in, I was taking, you know, a second and a half, another few tenths off of my previous session. So by the end of the day, I was able to secure me another W, second win of the season, first place win for the Northeast Time Attack series. And that was just, at that point in my brain, it was like, wow, maybe I really have a chance at this, you know. It was just a really good feeling to think that me and this car that I've built over the past few years can be this competitive in this class. So in between my fight for the championship with EMRA, Global Time Attack, which is, I mean, if you know Time Attack, you have to have heard of Global Time Attack. Global Time Attack made their way to the East Coast yet again to Palmer Motorsports Park. This is their first time coming here, and I was ecstatic because I knew Palmer Motorsports Park. I had just gone there with EMRA Racing, and I know I don't have the fastest car. The class I'm in is limited in Global Time Attack, which is there's no cap on horsepower. There's some caps on aero. I can be racing against someone with all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, turbos, superchargers, you name it. There ended up being a 350Z in my class, a Dodge Viper, K24 Civic, a few other cars. And long story short, your boy came home with gotta be his second favorite trophy of the 2021 season. This is my second place for the limited class of Global Time Attack at Palmer Motorsports Park. So this is super, super freaking cool. I really like this trophy a lot. It shows the sponsors of the event on it, and obviously my second place. I didn't make number one, but I wasn't far off. You know, the guy Ray Guerrero with the Viper, he's awesome, awesome dude, super fast. But I was happy I didn't get beat as bad as I thought. I was only about a second off of his time, which is a lot. But considering Dodge Viper, little Honda Civic, I'm going to take that as a W for me. Next event that comes is New Jersey Motorsports Park in South Jersey, Millville, New Jersey. Now, for those of you who don't know what New Jersey Motorsports Park is, it's an extremely beautiful facility. They have two tracks there. One is Lightning, the other is Thunderbolt. See what they did there? Lightning and thunder. Lightning! Anyways, 2-day event that we have there. We do it every year in July. So hottest, super, super hot. And yeah, the first day was Saturday, and we went to Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, again, a track I had never been on. I had only been on Lightning. So this was kind of had me a little nervous in the fact that I have to learn the track and also try and be competitive all in the same day. So it was a little intimidating. The track is for the most part, the first 5 turns are super fast. Then the last turn coming onto the straight is full throttle. I mean, no lifting at all. At least for me, there wasn't. A little sketchy because there's a curb, and if you kind of mess it up, I've seen it where the rear end of the car goes and you're along for the ride right into the wall, and you know, you want to try and avoid that, but I don't know. I just felt like I'm in the zone. The car felt so dialed in. Everything was just working, and I'm like, I can definitely take this one turn. I believe it was turn 3, you know, without letting off the throttle or tapping the brake. And I tried that, and it didn't go too well. So the car, I end up hitting the curb. The car kind of gets unsettled, and I just took the apex way too early. Way too early. I thought the car was going to rotate for me a little bit and kind of just line me up, but it didn't. And instead of trying to fight it and drop a wheel into the grass, which would have been my left rear wheel, and potentially be sent right across the track into a wall, I said, you know what, let me just turn out, go into the grass, and I'll just ride this until I can get myself back on the track. And that turn is pretty quick. I think I went into that turn at just about 100 miles an hour. So it was scary. And then I came back into the paddock. The front end of the car was looked like it went lawn mowing. Grass like shoved in the radiator, underneath all the control arms. The brakes had grass and dirt stuck in them. The exhaust had chunks of dirt stuck to it. So thankfully I have some amazing friends, and my buddy Steven, without even asking me, grabs the jack, starts jacking the car up, throws it on the jack stand, starts pulling the stuff off from underneath, all the dirt, grass, whatever else is stuck under there. And he was like, start taking the front end apart, get all you can out, and we're going to get you out for the next session. I think I had just about a half hour, 45 minutes to take the car apart, well, the front end at least, and go over everything to make sure nothing was bent, there was nothing leaking, like oil or coolant or anything of the sort. Make sure the car didn't overheat because of the grass that got stuck inside the radiator that was difficult for me to pull out, and, you know, and then get back out there. So with his help, and a lot of his help, actually, I was able to make it to the last session of the day. Now, last session of the day comes, I'm there with another buddy of mine who's been to this track a few times, and he's moving today. And just so happens he's in my class. And I'm just like, you know what? I've got to push. I think my time at the moment was a 1:37.1 or something like that. And I was like, I'm just gonna give it my best again. End of the session comes. I felt like I was a rocket. I felt on fire again. You know, the adrenaline was going. I'm like, I'm numero uno. Everything feels great. And I go look at the times, and I didn't beat any of my lap times from the last session. So I was a little disappointed. But needless to say, I was extremely fortunate, because with that being said, I was able to secure another first place by, I mean, maybe a tenth or 2/10 of a second from my other friend who's in the same class as me. So that was win number 3 now. So now I'm 33 points into the championship, first place on the 3 events that I've gone to. And when I tell you, like, I started to get this rush of I think I can do this. There's a few races left, and if I keep this up, I can be this year's Northeast Time Attack champion for my class, ST4. So I wasn't able to attend Saturday's event because that's when I was going through the process of getting this new position at work. And I just wanted to focus on that. You know, work is a little more important at this moment than the racing is. I don't get paid for this. I come out of pocket for this. I don't have any sponsors. Yeah, I'm a one-man band that does this by myself and with some friends. So I wasn't able to go the second day, and my friend who's in the same class as me kills it that day, first place. So going into the next race, we're a little closer on points. I think I'm ahead by 8 or 11, something like that. It was getting close. And the next event was Pocono, and I dropped the ball on Pocono so bad, right? After New Jersey Motorsports Park, I was just so focused on this new position at my job that I completely forgot to order a new set of brake pads. And by the time I got to order them, they were on back order. So my front pads were pretty much non-existent, and I really didn't want to take the chance of losing brakes on the racetrack. That's probably one of my biggest fears. And yeah, missed Pocono. And again, you know, my buddy was on fire, and he killed it. You know, he was just he was in it. He was on fire. So he's got the W for the second day at NJMP. He's got the W for Pocono, and then our last race of the year, we go back to Lime Rock. So I'm like, I'm getting ready for Lime Rock. If you guys have been following, you've seen me get my brakes ready for Lime Rock. And we go off to Lime Rock, and I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I get the car off the trailer, and all of a sudden, my sister shows up. My sister's husband, my brother-in-law, my niece, my brother, his wife, and a ton of my family just shows up. And turns out my wife had surprised me with a lot of my family coming, and I really didn't know. So not only was the pressure for the championship on, because I think me and my friend were separated by 8 points or something like that. Very close. So I knew if I didn't get first or second, I would have been out of the race for first place or winning the championship. But anyways, my family was here. It was awesome to see everybody. They're asking me questions about the car. They had never come to see me race before. They're asking me how it works, what we're racing for, and so on and so forth. And the time comes. First session of the day comes out, and I don't know what was going on, man. The car just didn't feel as good as it did earlier in the year. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I changed from the Yokohama Advan tires, which were like gold. They sprinkle some crack in that thing because those tires are amazing. All the other races I think wore out my Yokohamas, and I had bought some Falcon RT660s to replace them because, I wanted to give them a shot, and the Yokohamas were a little difficult to get my hands on at the time, so I went with the Falcon tires. And a lot of guys that I spoke to said that they're great. They love them. And I think my mistake was I went out there without heat cycling them. I didn't get any heat into them before. The manufacturer layer on the outside seemed pretty thick because they really didn't start to come into their own until maybe the third session of the day, towards the end of the third session. So the car finally started to feel better towards the end of the day. And on the last session, I'm just like, I'm looking at the times where me and my buddy are at in the same class, and we're literally thousandths apart from each other. I think he was ahead of me by a couple thousandths at the time, and I was like, you know what, I've got to get in the zone. I've got to send it. So I pushed, and I didn't get a chance to see the times after I came in because some clouds started rolling in and it looked like it was going to downpour. So I loaded the car up on the trailer as quick as I could. I loaded up all my stuff, the food, the grill, the chairs, threw everything in the back of the truck, and it starts pouring, torrential downpour like monsoon. Thankfully, none of us were on track at the time. I had already loaded up, so I really didn't get a chance to look at the times. And then we go to the award ceremony. We have an award ceremony after that. Thankfully, they have like a little gazebo that we can stand under and go through the awards. And they finally get to ST4, and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, I don't know, did I have enough in me? Did I get it? Did I not? Did my buddy, just beat me out by a few thousandths or a couple tenths of a second? Or did I bring it home? So they finally get to ST4. My heart's racing, and they go through the list, from last going down to first, and they get to second place, and they didn't call my name. So I'm like, either my times didn't count, something happened with my transponder, because I really thought my buddy had beat me. Just the car didn't feel that great all day. And they didn't call my name. So I was like, well, I guess something's wrong or whatever happened. Let me see where I end up after this. And they get to first place. And bam, they call your boy's name. So that is W number 4 for the season. So I end up with 44 points. I believe I beat my friend out by just a few points. It was quite a close championship for me. Well, for us, not just me. But I mean, this was epic because at this point I knew that I had won the 2021 Northeast Time Attack Series points championship for the ST4 class. And I mean, at that point, we're all talking about it. My buddy Jesse won his class, and the fight between my buddy John and my other friend Devin for their class, and we're going back and forth, and it was just such a good time, talking about all of our accomplishments throughout the season, the hardships that we've gone through throughout the season to get to this last race and to be able to come home with such a title. And just icing on the cake, EMRA has an awards dinner in the beginning of the following year. So the beginning of this year, I believe we did it in February. EMRA has a get-together. If whoever wants to be there, we have dinner together, we have some drinks, we talk, we chat, we talk about what we're doing over the off season, how excited we are for the new season. And they give out trophies for the championship winners. So I now have an official trophy, ta-da, that says I am the 2021 EMRA ST4 Time Attack Champion with my name and the car that I drive. So this right here is my first Time Attack Series Championship trophy. So this is addicting, dangerously addicting. I am hooked. I want more. I need to defend this with everything I've got. And I'm not off to a good start because I haven't done anything to the car over the off season. That being said, I've got so much coming, so much new stuff going on with the car. I've got to finish up this Integra behind me for my buddy Ryan. So it's going to put a little bit of a time crunch for me. But whether I get to do some of the upgrades I want to or not before Lime Rock, I'm still going to do my best to get there and try and defend my championship as best as I can. If I can't, that's my fault because I slacked all off season. I had plenty of time, but I didn't do anything. So anyways, guys, my 2021 season was epic. I wish I could have gotten to more races, but there's always, maybe not always next year, but I'm going to push my best for this year to get to as many as I can. This year looks to be very exciting. Grid Life is making its way to the Northeast. Global Time Attack will be returning to the Northeast. I want to attend those events. I will also be doing my best to defend my championship. My championship that I worked pretty hard for, I'm not going to lie. So, guys, again, thank you so much for sticking with me. I know this was mostly talking, nothing really to teach you or give you tricks or tips on or nothing interesting on my car. But this I just thought would be cool to share with you guys. So for those of you who stood with me through this talkathon, I greatly appreciate it. And I hope we can do this again for the 2022 season. So follow along because I will be for sure posting and sharing, the upgrades for the car, the different mods that I'm going to be bringing to specific races. I think I'm getting a lot of questions on what I usually bring with me for a track day. So I'm probably going to do a video of what I pack, how I prepare, and so on and so forth. But yeah, guys, there's plenty of stuff for me to go through. Be well, stay safe, stay tuned, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.